A woman is lucky to be alive after bullets flew through her window early this morning at an apartment complex. How close she was to being hit.
More than $12,000 worth of fentanyl and more off the streets now. Law enforcement revealing what led to this big seizure.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
A West Side woman just may owe her life to her television. The widescreen TV took a bullet that was fired through her window, saving her from getting hurt.
This happened in the 100 block of Ocaso Walk, not far from Castroville and Couples Road. As Katrina Weber reports, the shooting rattling neighbors as well.
Holes in a window and in a widescreen TV from bullets fired from the outside. Inside the apartment in the 100 block of Ocaso Walk was a woman. Thankful she and her 2-year-old son were spared.
She was scared. I don't blame her. I would be scared too.
Lottie Alonso spoke up for her neighbor, the woman in the apartment who was still too shaken up to appear on camera herself. She did let us see the damage and how close she came to getting hurt.
She was standing at the door and the TV was in front of her. If the bullet wouldn't have hit the TV, it would have hit her.
Alonso heard the gunfire from her own apartment and wondered what was happening. When San Antonio police arrived, the victim told them 2 men had banged on her door before 7 this morning, asking for someone who she didn't know. She says right after that, her window exploded from gunfire. As the gunshots rang out, the woman says the only thing she could think about was getting upstairs to her 2-year-old son. She says she crouched down to get there as she felt glass raining down on her. Alonso says she can't imagine what would have happened had the TV not been there.
Having to explain to her little babies, I couldn't imagine someone having to explain to my daughter that I was gone.
The shooters were gone by the time police arrived. 2 men who drove off in a dark-colored car. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
The big story today, the wind. It is enough of an issue that you might need to take precaution.
That's right. Wind gusts are expected to reach into the mid-30s. Local officials and CPS are worried about power outages and grass fires. Justin Horn joins us with more.
Yeah, guys, gusty winds, and then we have dry air moving in. Those two things combined give us a little bit of a fire danger today, so that's something we'll be watching closely. Here's the setup. We have a frontal boundary that moved through earlier. That brought in the dry air. Then we're going to get a secondary surge of cooler air. That arrives a little bit later this afternoon. And in between there, that's where we have that fire danger, that area highlighted in pink here. This is a red flag warning, and that just means that grass fires can spread very easily and very quickly. So obviously outdoor burning, things like that, not advised today. Wind advisories also posted across parts of Texas, and there's winter weather advisories as you get north of there. Plus the possibility of some severe weather as you get into places like Mississippi and Alabama this afternoon. So pretty dynamic storm system. Temperatures 74 at the airport right now, 73 Port SA, 73 in Castroville. Obviously it's not 30 in Helotes. 68 Bernie Stage, 70 right now in Comfort. And that cooler air already starting to work its way into the hill country as we speak. If you're south of San Antonio, you may see temperatures get close to 80 this afternoon before that front moves in. So here's a look at the forecast. By 4 p.m., temperatures are already starting to fall here in town. We're down into the low 60s. And then by tonight, that cool air really funnels in. 50 by 8 p.m., some 30s already in the hill country. And then tomorrow morning, we're down close to freezing here in town. Some places below freezing in the hill country. You factor in the winds tomorrow morning. Wind chill values will be in the 20s to start your Friday. So heads up. Big changes tomorrow morning, but a nice weekend on the way. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up in just a bit, guys.
Thank you, Justin. What a huge change from day to day. 2 teenagers, meantime, recovering from gunshot wounds at the hospital after being shot on the road. That shooting happened near the intersection of Estrella Street and Glendale Avenue on the city's west side. It happened just after midnight. The victims are both 17 years old. They were both shot in their legs. The victims told police that someone in a vehicle pulled up next to them and then just started shooting out the window and then drove off. Police are still investigating.
And 3 different people, 3 different stories on how they got shot. San Antonio police say their stories didn't add up, and now 2 of those suspects are facing aggravated robbery charges. According to an arrest affidavit back on January 26th, a couple arrived at their work in the 400 block of Pleasanton Road to open up for the night. That's when police say Jason Gonzalez and 2 other suspects snuck in through the security gate and demanded that the couple get out of the car. The couple refused, and that's when one of the suspects opened fire, hitting one of the victims. The other person in the car then got out and started shooting back, hitting 3 of the suspects as they ran away. The affidavit adds the suspects ended up at a hospital, telling investigators, you heard it already, 3 different versions of the shooting. Eventually, 2 of the suspects, Jason and his brother Jonathan Gonzalez, were brought in for questioning and confessed to the crime. No word if the other suspect is facing charges.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says that it has now seized more than $12,000 worth of fentanyl pills and meth, all in one major bust. That bust happening on Valentine's Day. The Sheriff's Office says it executed an arrest warrant at a home where a deputy noticed that narcotics were in plain view. During the search, deputies found more than 100 grams of meth and more than 300 grams of fentanyl pills. The other paraphernalia also found there. The Sheriff's Office says 31-year-old Joseph Garza was arrested for possession of a controlled substance. BCSO says nearly half of the pills contained at least 2 milligrams of fentanyl, which is considered lethal.
Incredible video captures a scary scene for a driver who just barely escaped a car explosion on the north side of town.
And we want to assure you, though, before we even start, the driver is safe. It happened on Blanco and Loop 410 at the Park North Shopping Center. According to police, the driver pulled over after he heard a couple of pops, and then he noticed there was an orange glow coming out from underneath his windshield wipers.
He was able to get his things out of the vehicle before the front end lit up and then eventually exploded. Firefighters arrived and did put out the flames, but again, the driver was not hurt.
There are several items on the agenda for today's City Council meeting. One of those items, the noise coming from construction sites. Council members are considering a proposal that would allow most construction projects to go forward only from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There would be some exceptions for some projects, but they would need to give advance notice to the neighbors near that site.
President Biden says he thinks Russia's President Putin will order a military attack on Ukraine within days.
And in a last-minute detour to his European trip to the United Nations, Secretary of State Blinken is telling the UN Security Council that Russia is moving toward an imminent invasion.
Ironically, that is not a view shared by the Ukrainian government.
ABC's Faith Abube has the latest coming in from Washington.
The threat of war appears to be increasing in Ukraine. Ukrainian National Police releasing this video they say is a result of mortar fire from Russia-backed separatists in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine authorities saying 20 children at a child care center escaped unharmed, but 3 adults were injured when the building came under fire. Both the Ukrainian government and Russian-controlled separatists are accusing each other of the attack. Independent analysis by ABC News confirms the attack happened on Ukrainian government-controlled land, seeming to bolster the Ukrainians' claims. This morning, President Biden repeating his warning that the Kremlin is planning a military attack on Ukraine very soon.
My sense this will happen within the next several days.
But Ukrainian officials strongly disagree with the U.S. view that Russia will launch an invasion on their country. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin calling the shelling in the Donbass region troubling.
We'll be watching this very closely.
U.S. officials have repeatedly accused Russia of planning false flag operations that it could use as a pretext to attack Ukraine. Just yesterday, the Kremlin launching an investigation into what it claims are mass graves of local people in the separatist-controlled regions of Ukraine. Russia also circulating a report at the UN accusing Ukraine of genocide against people in eastern Ukraine.
Mr. Putin, if he decides to invade Ukraine, will need to fabricate an excuse to manufacture a reason to go in.
This all happening as the White House says Russia continues to build up its troops near Ukraine's border, despite Russian claims it's withdrawing troops. A senior Biden administration official says 7,000 additional Russian forces have actually arrived at the border.
Today, peace and stability in the Euro-Atlantic area is under threat.
And despite these latest developments, President Biden says the door to diplomacy remains open to Russia, but right now he has no plans to call Putin. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Well, the Spurs won last night and Pop took another big step closer to an all-time record. Larry has more later in sports.
San Antonio police officers going beyond the call of duty. They're helping local nonprofits reach more people in need.
A law enforcement outreach program is giving back to the community by donating much needed funding to 20 local nonprofits.
Meals on Wheels, the first organization selected to receive Blue Cares grant monies. During a press conference this morning, the charity received a check for $10,000. Blue Cares is the outreach program of the San Antonio Officers Association.
Their goal, to work with local organizations and help bolster their efforts in the underserved community. Officials with Meals on Wheels say they're grateful for the support of their mission.
Very sweet right there. All right, this is sweet too. Pretty day out there, 73 degrees. I don't see the camera shaking out there yet in the wind.
Justin told us it's only breezy. The wind hasn't come in here yet, but I kind of argue that point because my coat almost flew off the hanger when I got out of the car this afternoon.
It was gone. It was out of here. Yeah, the winds are going to pick up probably a little bit more as we get into the afternoon, and then especially this evening and tonight, we're going to see more gusty winds. We saw those yesterday, too. The aquifer, it is down today, 10th of a foot, 665.5, and the reason why Ursula has been sneezing a lot today. Molds are moderate. Mountain cedars there, elm, mulberry, ash, all in the pollen count today, so a long list. We're going to talk about those gusty winds and that fire weather danger coming up.
This Rodeo Remembers, brought to you by the new 2022 Chevy Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever.
When you're at the rodeo, you are witnessing skills that took centuries to develop, and the first horsemen to figure it out were the vaqueros. As the Spanish colonized Mexico, cattle ranching became a lucrative business. But Mexico wasn't Europe. Working large herds on vast stretches of land demanded horses, new equipment, and new techniques. Roping, branding, spurs, chaps, the modern saddle. They were all developed through trial and error by the vaqueros. To a Spanish landowner, a vaquero was simply a laborer, and many were mestizo, a Spanish term for someone of both European and indigenous descent. In early colonial Mexico, the indigenous population faced many restrictions, and the Conquistador Saddle was forbidden. So out of necessity, a new style of riding developed on the haciendas. This mixture of inventive and masterful horsemanship formed the roots of charro culture, and as ranching moved north, the charro became the vaquero. By the 1800s, Anglo settlers were moving west into Old Mexico, and those important skills of the vaqueros were being embraced by a new kind of horseman. We'll talk about the rise of the cowboy in our next Rodeo Remembers.
What a history lesson there.
Yeah, there's a lot in there, wasn't it?
I felt like I was in social studies, but I was a lot more entertained than I was seeing a desk
Well,
class.
you know, there's a lot. You know, I consider myself a cowgirl, so that was fun.
And the outfit showed.
Well, it is rodeo time.
Yes, it is.
And you know, are you going to have the Ferris wheel on a windy day like this is the question. You know, the carnival at the rodeo.
It's a tough call. I bet they probably will, but you want to be careful because gusty winds like this can cause some issues, especially if you're like in a high-profile truck, something like that. Always something to keep in mind. And, of course, we have the fire danger on top of that. Here's the setup, and I mentioned earlier that there's a new tornado watch now in effect for parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and even Tennessee around Memphis. Expecting some strong storms here along this initial line, and there could be a few spin-ups there. So the severe weather is pushing east of Texas. We certainly have lost the moisture. Now we're getting a surge of cooler air working in from the north. All of this is going to create gusty winds for us. We've already seen some pretty gusty winds here around San Antonio. Here's a look at the dew points, dropping off into the 20s now, so the air is extremely dry, and there's even more dry air coming in with that secondary front. As we just showed you, dew points in the 20s and 30s for the most part around the area, and you combine that with those gusty winds, gusting now to 25 miles per hour here in town and gusting close to 30 in Kerrville, and that's when you get that fire danger, and it's fairly widespread. I think the best chance of any sort of wildfire or anything spreading like that would probably be west of I-35, but really the entire area, the threat is there. And as we look at the forecast here, by 4 p.m., winds are still gusting to around 25 miles per hour. Tonight, I think the winds actually pick up even a little bit more out of the north, and we're talking about gusts close to 35 around 10 p.m. Then by tomorrow morning, we're still looking at breezy conditions, but the winds will start to calm after that. We'll see less wind tomorrow afternoon. Through all of this, we're dealing with drought, too. That's the other problem here. And you look at the drought situation. This just came in this morning, the drought index. and places like Cotulla, Three Rivers, Carrizo Springs dealing with extreme drought. Here in San Antonio, we're on the moderate end, but things haven't been great rainfall-wise. So that's why I was mentioning west of I-35 is where the greatest threat for wildfire issues would be today. But the red flag warning includes everybody in this pink color. And this basically just means that conditions are ripe for wildfires to spread quickly. Obviously, outdoor burning, anything like that, not a good idea today. Blue skies over San Antonio right now, 74 degrees. And we're looking at a northerly wind at about 17 miles per hour, gusting to 25. Cloud cover, not really there, but we are watching some clouds with this next front starting to work south. We'll see if some of those clouds work in this evening. I still think we're probably talking mostly clear skies. 77 in Gonzales, 78 Kennedy. As you go north, temperatures do cool off a little bit. 67 Kerrville, 66 in Fredericksburg. And as the day wears on, we're going to see this cooler air work in. So by 4 p.m., temperatures are actually dropping here in San Antonio. That warmer air getting pushed south. And then by, say, 8 p.m., it gets a little chilly. Temperatures around 50. We may see some 30s and 40s in the hill country. And then tomorrow morning, downright cold, close to freezing here in San Antonio. It will be below freezing in the hill country. You factor in those gusty winds tomorrow morning, it's going to feel like it's in the 20s. 27 here in town. We could see wind chills in the low 20s in the hill country. So just know tomorrow morning it is going to be chilly. The weekend we rebound some, 65 Saturday, 68 on Sunday with increasing clouds. In the extended forecast, 59 tomorrow, 65 Saturday after starting off close to freezing. And the next week it's warm. We've got 80s both Monday and Tuesday with some chances of rain. But another front brings some cold air, it looks like, by Wednesday, guys.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it.
It's all this up and down.
Yeah.
All right, sports will be back next.
Pop and the Spurs closed out the first leg of the rodeo road trip with a win at OKC last night. Devin Vassell was one of 6 Spurs to reach double digits. First quarter, nice drive and spin move for 2 of his 15 points. Second quarter action now, Spurs are on the break running. DeJounte Murray drives and gets one to fall. He scored 18 points to go with 8 assists and 7 rebounds. Late in the second quarter, DJ feeds Vassell, who attacks the rim. You know what? Now that he's a starter, Vassell's really showing what he can do. Spurs led by as many as 16 points, and they beat the Thunder 114 to 106. OKC made it close, but the Spurs were able to fight them off.
Well, I mean, we got out on them in the first half. Second half was a grind, but you could tell everybody wanted it. We knew we was going to break, and we knew we wanted to go on break on a high note. So we knew we had to take care of business and just keep our foot on the gas.
I mean, it wasn't a perfect game by any means. A little bit back and forth, but most importantly, in the end, we pulled out the win. Like, there was some stretches where we let go a little bit, and it shouldn't happen. But like I said, the win's a win, and we're happy about that.
And with that win, Greg Popovich moved up to second on the all-time list for regular season wins with 1,333. Breaking his tie with Lenny Wilkens, Pop needs 3 more dubs to pass Don Nelson for most regular season victories in NBA history. So the Spurs will now get a nice long break before they play at the Washington Wizards on Friday, February 25th. The Spurs finished the first half of the rodeo road trip 3-2. Spurs fans will get to see DeJounte Murray play again before the rodeo road trip resumes, and that'll be Sunday for the NBA All-Star Game. Murray was recently selected as an injury replacement for Warriors' Draymond Green. DJ's playing lights out this season, and he leads the Spurs in points, assists, and steals per game. Suns point guard Chris Paul, one of the best ever at his position, recently gave DJ a great compliment while talking with JJ Redick on his podcast.
So, I appreciate watching guys who not just running around out there playing, who's out there thinking the game, like steals. I appreciate, DeJounte Murray. He's a guy that's always up there high and still, that's IQ, that's anticipation.
DeJounte leads the NBA this season, averaging 2 steals per game, and he's second with 106 steals, 2 behind leader Chris Paul. DeMar DeRozan helped the Bulls beat the Kings 125 to 118 last night. In the process, he made some impressive history. DeRozan, who made 16 of 27 field goals, became the first player in NBA history to score 35 or more points and shoot 50% or better in 7 consecutive games. He broke the old mark set by Wilt Chamberlain, who did it in 6 straight games twice during the 1960-61 and 62-63 seasons. It was also DeRozan's 8th game in a row with 30 or more points. It's the longest set streak by a Bulls player since Michael Jordan did it in 8 straight in January 1996. The former Spur is definitely playing at an MVP level this season.
Boy, do we miss him.
Yeah, exactly. That's some high-quality names to be with.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Wilt.
Oh, yeah.
Wilt. Ooh.
All right, now shifting gears, pun intended. Another investigation into Tesla is underway after reports say vehicles are suddenly stopping without warning while on the highway. The details are coming up.
Cities across the country are getting rid of their mask mandates, but the CDC says it might be too early. It's getting set to release new mask guidelines. That's next.
A new year means new vehicles on the market. And if you're on the hunt, we have some tips to help you pick. Coming up today at 5, 12 on your sides, Marilyn Moritz takes a look at Consumer Reports' top vehicle picks of 2022 for budget, practicality, and safety. That's today at 5 after entertainment tonight.
The investigation continues today into a fatal plane crash in a North Carolina street. According to the FAA, the twin-engine airplane had just taken off from a county airport. It's unclear if the pilot was trying to make an emergency landing. The pilot died after crashing into a tractor-trailer on the interstate. The driver of the tractor-trailer taken to a local hospital, but only had non-life-threatening injuries.
Cleanup efforts still underway in New York after a tanker truck carrying gasoline crashes into a building that went up in flames. And take a look at this. A burnout shell of the building remains. Authorities say the driver of the out-of-control truck jumped out of the vehicle after it crashed, saying someone cut him off. Then moments after, he collapsed. His condition is unknown. 3 firefighters battling the flames were injured, but are expected to be okay. The crash is under investigation. Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. The CDC preparing to announce new mask guidelines for the country as the Omicron variant loosens its grip on the U.S.
But still, some states are reporting low ICU bed availability. The nation averaging 2,200 virus-related deaths every day. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
As new cases continue to plunge coast to coast, the CDC planning to update its mask guidance as early as next week.
We want to give people a break from things like mask wearing when these metrics are better, and then have the ability to reach for them again should things worsen.
Health officials keeping a close eye on the numbers. 10 states are still running low on ICU beds with capacity of 15% or less, despite cases going down more than 80% since the Omicron peak.
We must consider hospital capacity as an additional important barometer. Our hospitals need to be able to take care of people with heart attacks and strokes.
Many states acting ahead of CDC guidance, already dropping indoor mask mandates. California is one of the latest to do so for vaccinated people in most public places.
I'm just not ready yet. I mean, I don't think the pandemic is quite under control.
We may have a bonfire tomorrow and just burn them all.
Masks are still required in California schools.
Let them breathe.
Some parents calling on officials to change that.
My child deserves an in-person education. Whether she decides to wear a mask or not, it's a choice, and they shouldn't have to be made to wear a mask in school.
More than a dozen states are still reporting an increase in their daily death rates, and over the last week, more than 15,000 have died from the virus. But some optimistic news here, daily deaths are down by about 8%, and that number will likely keep falling. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Okay, it's 12:33, Thursday, February 17th. Can you believe it? This year's going by fast. And the weather changes.
It's been so windy, it feels like this. Is that our imagination?
No, we've had a stretch here of some very gusty winds over the last couple of days, but even over the last month, we've had several of these events that have not come with rain, but they've come with wind, which gets dangerous because we have to start talking about fire weather and fire concerns, and that's exactly the situation today. Let's first start with the temperatures. We're at 74 degrees at the airport, 75 Randolph, 68 though as you go up towards Bandera, 70 in Comfort. And what you're going to notice here over the next couple of hours, temperatures are actually going to level off and then probably start to come down. We've got some cooler air coming in from the north, and by this evening, it is going to be quite a bit cooler, and then by tomorrow morning, it will be downright cold. But looking at the numbers, we have a big range of temperatures today because of this front. It's 65 in Fredericksburg. You compare that to 82 in Victoria. So quite a range, and again, that cooler air is starting to work its way in now. on these northerly winds. And you see the wind gusts gusting to 25 miles per hour, gusting to 22 in Hondo, gusting to 32 out there near Eagle Pass. Strong winds combined with low humidity levels. And there's your fire concern. Red flag warnings in effect until 8 p.m. this evening for the entire area. And as we look at the forecast, we'll see clear skies, but temperatures fall down into the 60s, I think, by 4 p.m. We'll see some gusts to 35 miles per hour. And then overnight, temperatures falling into the 30s by tomorrow morning. We're close to freezing here in San Antonio. Wind chill values will be in the 20s. It does warm up some tomorrow, but a much cooler day. Highs only around 60 on your Friday, guys.
Wow, what a difference. Major life events like entering high school, getting married, having a baby. These are times to celebrate, but could it also be a dangerous time for your health?
With more on if that's the case, here's ABC News' Ike Jachi.
Walking, swimming, even yard work, all sorts of physical activity can help keep you healthy and reduce your chances of getting diseases like diabetes and heart disease. Some life events and transitions are linked to reduced physical activity, according to the American Heart Association. Kids and teens are at risk of being less active during transitions at school, like starting elementary school and moving on to middle school or high school. For adults, it's transitioning to college or university, starting your first job, getting married, and having a baby. And seniors are at risk of being less physically active during the transition to retirement and entering a long-term care facility. So when you're going through a life event or transition, be aware of your level of physical activity and do your best to keep moving. The association recommends that kids and teenagers should aim for at least 1 hour of activity per day, and adults should aim for a minimum of 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. If you have a chronic illness or physical limitations, speak to your doctor about what exercises are best for you. With this Medical Minute, I'm Ike Jachi.
Some employees say that they want to permanently trade in their workstation for a seat in their favorite chair at home to do their jobs. So why do so many say they don't want to work at work?
And in men's college basketball, Texas Tech made history last night. Larry has more later in sports.
And a missing teddy bear we told you about a while back is reunited with his owner. It turns out the special toy belongs to a special Texas boy. The story after the break.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Tech and Business Briefing from Cheddar News. Roku expected to report their fourth quarter earnings after the bell today. Wall Street is expecting mixed results for the streaming company. That is, some of the surge it saw in the last few quarters during the pandemic continues to wear off. Earnings per share estimated at 6 cents, comparably lower than the 49 cents in the fourth quarter of 2020, though revenue looking higher year over year. Meanwhile, food delivery giant DoorDash saw their share surge in after-hours trading. That after a beating on revenue in their fourth quarter earnings on Wednesday. DoorDash posted revenue $1.3 billion versus the $1.28 billion that was estimated, and a loss per share of 45 cents versus the estimated loss of 25 cents. And Nvidia reported their fourth quarter earnings after the bell Wednesday, and it was a top and bottom line beat for the chip maker. The company posted revenue $7.6 billion versus the $7.4 billion that was estimated. Earnings per share of $1.32 adjusted versus $1.22 estimated. Nvidia posting a positive forecast for the first quarter of this year as well, expecting to bring in $8.1 billion, beating out Wall Street estimates of $7.29 billion. And that's your Cheddar News Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
The automaker Tesla is under investigation again, this time for complaints that their vehicles will stop for no apparent reason while on the highway. The government says it has received some 350 complaints from owners during the past 9 months about phantom braking in Tesla's Models 3 and Y. The investigation by U.S. auto regulators covers an estimated 416,000 2021 and 2022 model year cars and SUVs. Luckily, no crashes or injuries have been reported. The cars and SUVs have partially automated driver assist features that allows them to automatically brake and steer in their lanes. Some 60% of people working from home say they want to keep it that way, or at least be able to work from home most of the time. According to a new survey by Pew Research, some said they still fear being exposed to COVID, but 3 out of 4 just prefer working from home. 64% of those surveyed said remote work has improved their work-life balance, and about 1/3 say childcare is an issue for them in returning to the office.
Last week, we told you about the efforts to reunite a special teddy bear with its owner. Well, it turns out the owner is a little boy from Texas. 5-year-old Ezekiel lost his teddy bear after Thanksgiving at the Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. Somebody found it in January. The airport then used social media to track down the owner. Here he is. The post went viral on Facebook. The teddy bear is special. It's given to children born with congenital heart defects. Southwest Airlines flew the family from Dallas to Wisconsin so he could have a reunion. Never underestimate the power of social media.
I was just about to say that, you have a lot of bad things that come with it, but then these reunifications, people who lost toys, you got to hold on tight because the wind gusts, they're coming.
You're right about that. We've seen the winds really pick up. Yeah, blue skies out there. Yeah, by all indication, looks like a great day, but I'll warn you, the winds are going to be gusty today, and we'll start to see temperatures falling a little bit later tonight. 74 degrees right now. 63 was the low this morning. Records are 92 and 19. Thankfully, those are not in jeopardy. Set back in 1959 and 1903. But it will get chilly tonight, and especially by tomorrow morning. Another look at that forecast. It's coming up. Not much rain. There were a few showers on radar, but not here in San Antonio. And now we're seeing temperatures at 74 degrees here in San Antonio, and northerly winds at 17 miles per hour with dew points at 29. So we're having some mic issues here. We're going to switch out real quick.
This is what we call live television.
I'm telling you.
I can just tell you right now, it's going to get windier as the day goes on with a high of 74 degrees. But tomorrow, get ready, because tomorrow
Justin,
morning
you got to get that mic on. Ursula's coming for your job, man.
She's doing a pretty good job.
All right, I just know that it's going to be really cold tonight, and we're only going to get up into the 60s tomorrow at best.
There you go. Okay, well done. Thank you.
All right, I expect a bonus on my paycheck.
All right, we're back. Can you hear me now? We're good? All right, 74 degrees right now. And as we look at the big picture across the state, here's what's going on. So we've got weather to our east, a tornado watch box from Memphis down to Louisiana, Mississippi, and that's where there's going to be some severe weather today. Notice these clouds. That's associated with a frontal boundary that's shifting south, and that's going to bring some changes to us a little bit later this afternoon and this evening. Here's a look at the dew points, and these are important because the air is so dry now. We had some humidity yesterday, if you remember, but now we've got dry air and even drier air working in behind that front. So dew points in the 20s. That is very, very dry, and with these northerly winds, it's just going to continue to drive in more of this low humidity. Wind gusts right now, gusting to 25 here in San Antonio. Seen some higher gusts out around Del Rio and Eagle Pass. And the wind gust forecast over the next several hours actually calls for winds to pick up some. I think winds will actually be strongest overnight. So it'll be howling into early tomorrow morning before the winds finally calm some. But with these winds, the dry air, the lack of rainfall that we've seen, a red flag warning is in effect for most of the area, and that's going to go through 8 p.m. this evening. Temperature-wise, 68 Canyon Lake, 70 in Comfort, 68 Boerne Stage, 68 Bandera. You got warmer numbers to the south, but that cooler air is starting to work in now. It'll be sort of a gradual thing, but I think we're pretty much topping out in the mid-70s here, and you're going to see numbers start to tumble as we get into the afternoon. 83 in Corpus Christi, but it's 63 right now in Fredericksburg, so it shows you the difference there. And as we look at the forecast temperatures, by 4 p.m., we're dropping into the 60s here in San Antonio, 50s in the hill country, and then everyone starts to feel that cooler air by 8 p.m. And by, say, midnight, a lot of us are already in the 30s. We'll start off tomorrow morning close to freezing here in town. But the bigger story with those breezy winds, the wind chill, it's going to be in the 20s. So don't let those kids leave home without the jacket tomorrow morning. They will want it. There's a look at the forecast wind chill, 27 here in town. You'll see wind chills in the 20s, maybe even teens in the hill country for a brief period tomorrow. As for the weekend, well, it looks good. 65 Saturday. By the way, we'll be close to 60 tomorrow, and then we warm up to 65 Saturday, 68 on Sunday with some increasing clouds, more humidity coming in. The extended forecast, again, close to 60 on Friday, 65 Saturday, 68 Sunday, as we showed you. And then Monday, moisture surges back in here. We get some rain chances. It'll be warm Monday and Tuesday, but another strong cold front moves in. That'll cool us down, and we'll bring a chance of rain by Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Judson High School football greats DeMarvin Leal and Sincere McCormick are up in Frisco getting ready for the NFL Scouting Combine with the goal of improving every aspect of their game and, of course, their draft stock. The two are training at Exos, who specializes in sports training for professional athletes. The two Judson Rockets are in the same NFL draft together, and that is pretty darn cool.
It was exciting. You know, I haven't seen him in 3 years, so, you know, I mean, we had our experience at Judson High School, but just to be around him, and, you know, he's still the same guy from high school, still goofy as ever, you know, and just chopping it up with him.
Me and Cecile, we, you know, first freshmen on varsity high school, so it's like, sounds about right. You know, we go into stuff together, we come out of it together.
Same thing as in high school, we started varsity early, you know, as freshmen. So, you know, it's basically to start all over again. Now we're doing it with the NFL, so it's great to have a guy like him around me.
Did you guys talk about this growing up, going to the NFL one day?
You know, we all have always had that dream, you know, just being able to compete against each other, play with each other, and just as a whole, just being able just to be out throughout this process.
NFL Scouting Combine runs March the 1st through the 7th at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, and the NFL Draft is April 28th through the 30th in Las Vegas. Now, going to Exos also gave us our first chance to talk with Sincere about opting out of the Roadrunners Bowl game and declaring for the 2022 NFL Draft. Sincere went to Frisco for Bowl Week because it was very important for him to support his teammates while they all supported his choice. Sincere, who says the decision wasn't an easy one, talked with Coach Traylor, who gave him some great advice.
I had a conversation with him. We talked about it, and you know, some of the guys on the team, I also spoke to them as well. My decision making had to deal with mostly. I have a daughter, so I had to go feed her, and a lot of people on the team understood that, and my coach understood that too as well, and you know. As he see, he was seeing me beating myself up because he knew how bad I wanted to be there for my team, and he knew the decision I was making. He said, if you're gonna make your decision, live with it. You know, don't look behind, because you look behind and you start second guessing yourself. You know, make your decision right and just live with it at the end of the day.
And that's exactly what he's doing. And check it out, former UTSA offensive lineman Spencer Burford from Wagner High School is also training at Exos to prepare for the NFL Scouting Combine. Number 7 Baylor played at number 11 Texas Tech last night. The Bears led 39-32 at halftime. Red Raiders forward Kevin O'Banner said head coach Mark Adams chewed them out during the break, and that sparked the Red Raiders' second half comeback. Some 15 minutes ago in regulation, O'Banner drains a corner 3 for a 1-point lead, and the Red Raiders would never trail again. Tech alum Patrick Mahomes loving what he sees. O'Banner scored 21 of his 23 points in the second half to help the Red Raiders win 83-73. Tech's first regular season sweep of the Bears since the 2004-05 season, while improving to 16-0 at home this season.
Beating the defending national champs, isn't it? Twice. Isn't a bad way to try to end the season before March Madness there.
I tell you what, David's just very upset he wasn't here for you to run that story.
But he'll be happy knowing that I use those items.
That's right.
Thanks for that, Larry.
All right, we're going to head over to SA Live downtown. Hi, guys.
How are you?
Yes, all right. Well, San Antonio, get ready to sweat.
Yes, indeed. Everything you want to know about fitness under one roof, and here to tell us all about it, my wife, Bonnie Osterhage. What's going on with the sweat event?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. So sweat is like a little smorgasbord of all things health and fitness. So you've got mini classes from some of the best studios in town, including one of my favorites, Joyride. And you've got shopping from vendors in the health and wellness space. You've got nutritionists giving lectures. You've got health and wellness coaches. You can sweat, you can shop. You can snack. It's all there.
We will tell you all about it, how you can get tickets and a discount as well.
And after you get that workout in, why not go enjoy a pie? Hey there, Jen.
That's right. Or take in these calories and then go work it off, maybe? You know, whatever works for you. We're celebrating a few pie holidays, including National Cherry Pie Day, Banana Cream Pie Day. They're all coming up. So whether you need a 6-pound apple pie or a cute little empanada, we've got you covered here at Tootie Pie. We're going to make some of these in a little bit. Are you hungry yet?
Very hungry. All right, we have got some special guests with us. The Jefferson High School Lassos are going to be here. You have seen them. They've been around for 90 years. A special performance is coming up on SA Live.
All right, and of course, with rodeo season around, we are going to get a vaquero chili recipe from renowned pitmaster Adrian Davila from Davila's Barbecue.
That and a whole lot more is coming up on SA Live, so stick around.